Okay, so the first chord shape to learn is what we call the major seventh. We're going to do this on an F, which is right here on the first fret. And the way we're going to play this is just hit that note and then jump to the chord. The chord, the little clump of notes that we're trying to learn, the numbers we're trying to learn, looks like an A minor chord. So it's just the first fret on the second string, second fret on the third string with the ring finger, and second fret on the fourth string. So we hit this and then play this. So you can do that with a pick by, or use your fingers, whatever you like. Right now we don't want to try and hold all that because we're going to be dealing with a lot of complex shapes. Just keep this really simple. Try and avoid doing the thumb thing. It just makes your hand have to get a little more tense than it needs to. Hit the note with whatever finger. That's an F. And then the important thing to get is that the numbers are 5 on this string. The third is on the third string. That helps to help you memorize it. And then the 7th is on the 4th string. So it's the 5th, the 3rd, and the 7th. And those are the numbers that we're going to adjust for each type of chord. So we're going to get an F here. And then to play the song, we're going to go up to the other F, an octave higher at the 13th fret, and play the exact same thing. And just remember that clump of notes is always at the same fret. Pointer fingers at the same fret as where the root note is. Cool. So it's a root, and then here's your 5th, here's your 3rd, here's your 7th. The 3rd is on the 3rd string, 5th is on the 2nd string, and then the 7th is on the 4th string. So we're going to get an F major 7th, another F major 7th, and that F major 7th, the symbol for it, the major 7th is a triangle. You'll also sometimes see the letters MAJ7 or even a big MA7, but major 7th. So those are all the numbers 1, 3, 5, 7. The next chord you see on the tune is an E with a circle and a line through it and a 7. That's called a half diminished. And if you look on our little cheat sheet, half diminished, circle with a line through it, the numbers are a flatted 3rd, a flatted 5th, and a flatted 7th. So all of these clump notes, here's our E, here's our clump. We're going to take that clump and just move them all down a fret. So it's F major 7, and then E. Exact same shape as for the major, but move down a fret. So remember, if our E is at the 12th fret, our pointer finger would go on the 12th fret, ring and middle would be on the 13th fret, but we're moving that down because to make that type of chord, we need to flat the 3rd, the 5th, and the 7th. That means doing this. So, okay, and next we have an A7 with a flat 9. So we have all these 7th chords that we're trying to learn the formulas for. All those 7th chords have like symbols. The triangle is a major 7th. The circle with a line through it is a half diminished. A minus sign is a minor chord. A circle is a fully diminished chord. Those all have their own formulas. When you see no symbol at all, like in the case of the A7, it's just a root note and a number, like an A7 or an A9 or a B flat 7 or a B flat 13. That's called a dominant chord. Dominant chords have a flat 7. That's the formula. You get all those numbers, 1, 3, 5, 7, but you move the 7th down a fret. So this is an A. Here's our clump. So at the 5th fret, 6th fret, 6th fret. And what we're doing is taking, this is the 7th of the chord, the note on the 4th string. We're taking that and moving it down a fret. That's a little hard to do like that. You can get it, but it's easier if when we're trying to get this note, the flatted 7th, we just kind of flip these two fingers. Flap the pointer in the middle. That'll make that a little bit easier to get. You could also bar it and do it like that, but for right now, try it just like this. So I'm getting my 5th, my 3rd, and instead of getting the 7th that was here, we're getting this note. 1 fret lower. So that's an A dominant 7th. Now that chord symbol also says play a flat 9. So if you look at this chord, and here's our clump, the 9th is on the 1st string. It's 2 frets above where the root is. So if our root was on the 5th fret, 9th is here on the 7th fret. This chord calls for a flatted 9th, so we're going to flat that note, bring it down a fret. So right now we've got an A, here's our clump, it's an A dominant, so we're flatting the 7th, and adding that flat 9th. So we get all the dominant notes, the clump with the 7th moved down a fret, and a flatted 9th, the 9th moved down a fret. So my frets there are 6, 5, 6, and 5. So from the beginning, here's our frets. The F major 7 is 1 on the 6th string, and then 1, 2, those frets. And then we just move that up an octave. So 13, and then 13, 14, 14. E half diminished, we're getting the 12th fret, and then these fingers are 11, 12, 12. A is at the 5th fret, and then there I'm getting, for the flat ninth, the 6th fret, the 5th fret, the 6th fret, and the 5th fret. Okay, now we have a D minus sign. That's a D minor. The formula for minor, if you look on the cheat sheet, is a flatted 3rd and a flatted 7th. So here's our D at the 10th fret. This is the major clump. Same fret, pointer finger on the 2nd string, third string and 4th string are at the 11th fret. So we have 10 on the root note, and then 10, 11, 11. That's the clump to make a minor chord. This is the major 7th chord. To make a minor, we need to move these notes both down. If you look at that, here's my 5th. This is where my 7th and or 3rd and 7th are. I'm just going to move those down. You really can't do that physically very easily, so the way to do it is just look at where those notes are, move them down a fret, and you see you can get those notes with a bar. So minor is really simple. Just hit the D and get the clump, but with the 3rd and the 7th flatted, that gives you a straight bar. Cool? So now you've got an F major 7th, another F major 7th, an E half diminished, an A dominant 7th with a flat 9. Just an A7 is called dominant 7th. A7, flat 9. Okay, then we have a D minor. The next chord, D minor / C. When you see something that looks like a fraction, whether it's a straight across fraction or a diagonal line with a note after it, that means put that note in the bass. So we've got a D minor 7th over C. So here's our D minor. We're going to go, instead of D, put a C. And then get that same chord. Cool? You get a little walk-in bass line. Okay, so F, E half diminished, A dominant 7th, D minor over C. Okay, and I have another half diminished. It's a B. So B is at the 7th fret. And again, here would be our clump, same fret. Root note, clump is at the same fret, 5th, 3rd, 7th. We're taking that to make a half diminished, slide all those notes down. Still get the B, but move all the intervals down a fret. Okay, so now we have F major 7, E half diminished, A dominant 7 with a flatted 9, D minor over C, B half diminished. Now we have a B flat minus 7, which is B flat with a minor 7th chord. That's a 3rd and a 7th flatted. So here's our B flat. Here's B flat. Minor is, here's the clump, 5th, 3rd, and 7th. We're going to take those notes, move them down. Again, the easiest way to get that minor is just a bar. So again, here's the 5th, here's the 3rd, here's the 7th, here's the 5th, here's the 3rd, here's the 7th. We're going to take these two notes, the 3rd and the 7th, and slide them down a fret. When you do that, you can get those notes with a bar. So we have a B flat, minor 7th, and then E flat. Here's E on the 12th fret, so E flat is at the 11th fret, and that just says E flat 7. That means dominant. There's no circle, there's no triangle, there's no circle with a line through it, there's no any other symbols, there's no minus sign, it's just a root note, E flat, and a 7th, a number. So it's E flat with a dominant 7th. Dominant, whenever you see that, no symbol, means flat the 7th. So here's our E flat, here's our clump, 11, 12, 12. E flat's at the 11th fret, so the clump is 11, 12, 12. To make it dominant, again, we take that 7th note, flat it, and the easiest way to get that is to flip those two fingers. So E flat, 7. Now, we get a little problem there rhythmically. To get that chord to happen in rhythm, we have 4 beats per measure in the song, so the F gets 1, 2, 3, 4. E flat is a half a measure, A dominant 7 flat 9 is a half a measure, D is a half measure, D flat over C is a half measure, B flat or B half diminished is half a measure, and then we have 2 chords taking up those last 2 beats. So I'm just going to hit a little bit of the B flat without getting the root, and I'm just going to go chord and then E flat, chord, 1 beat apiece, without worrying about hitting the root notes, because we just don't have time to hit the root notes. Or I could hit them twice as fast, really quick. But easier just to hit the chord. Here's the F, here's the E half diminished, A dominant 7 flat 9, here's D minor over C, here's B half diminished, and then B flat and E flat. And then we have an A minor 7. We'll finish this up. Here's A. Remember, minus sign means minor. Here's our clump. Move the 7th and the 3rd down, which you get by doing a bar. Then we go to D, 10th fret. 7 means dominant, flat the 7th. So here's our clump, flat the 7th, refinger it like that. Then a G, 3rd fret. Minus again, so just a bar. C, dominant, so again, looks like this. And then A, minor again. D, dominant again. And then G minor. And then we get a C dominant, but with a sharp 5 and a flat 9. So if we take a look at this, here's our chord, C dominant. And remember, clump looks like this, same fret as the root, 3rd and 7th. To get the dominant, to get something that doesn't have a symbol, dominant 7th means move this down a fret. We're going to flip those fingers just to get that chord easier. So right now I'm getting the 8th fret, the 9th fret, and the 8th fret, along with the root of the 8th fret. This note, the middle finger on the 2nd string, is the 5. To make a sharp 5, we take that note, move it up a fret. So I'm going to use my pinky there. Okay, now, maybe I'll refinger that. We need to get a flat 9. If you remember, the 9th is 2 frets above where the root is on the 1st string, but they are calling for a flat 9, so I'll tuck that under there and go like this. I could also maybe get that pointer finger in bar. So I'm getting the 8th fret on the 4th string and then 9, 9, 9 on all these strings. So those intervals for a C, dominant 7, flat 9, sharp 5. C, here's our dominant. Sharp the 5 gives us the 8th fret, and flat the 9 gives us this 8th fret. Okay, so the whole chord progression is F major 7, octave F major 7, E half diminished, A7 with a flat 9, D minor over C, B half diminished, B flat minor, E flat 7, A minor 7, D7, G minor, C7, A minor, D7, G minor, and then C with all those alterations. Georgia, Georgia, that old sweet song. Georgia. Wow. So the simplest way we can possibly get those chords is just to pick out those numbers. Let me know if you have questions. That was a long one.